is me, and today I will be talking about all the movies I watched in the month of August, which is only 4 movies. Yeah, August wasn't really the month for me in anything. I just feel like August started and ended and everything that happened in between, I don't know. So, only got around to watching 4 movies. I wish would have been more, but what you gonna do about it? So, let's talk about them. The first movie I watched this month is The Emperor's New Groove, which came out in 2000, and I gave 4 out of 5 stars to. The thing with The Emperor's New Groove is I was obsessed with the cartoon that spin off from this movie when I was a kid, and I loved it. And I didn't know that there was a movie that was like an original movie like this one. I didn't know it existed until later on when I got like on the internet and people were like raving about it and stuff. So yeah, which is really weird because I did watch the Quonk movie as a kid, so like I don't know what my reasoning was for not knowing that this movie existed, but oh well. Yeah, it was on Netflix, but I decided to watch it because I wanted actually a shorter movie to watch, and this was kind of short, and I really liked it. It just reminded me so much of my childhood and was great. And the main reason why I love the show and I love this movie now is because it contains some of my favorite things in the entire world, and it's fantastic. I love fourth wall breaking. I've always loved shows and books and movies or whatever that breaks the fourth wall. I just love it, and this movie does it so spectacularly, and it's so great. It's a hidden gem. The next movie I watched was again a childhood fail, and that's The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, which came out in 1977. Some of these Disney movies I grew up with just baffles me when they came out. Give this 5 stars. I was obsessed with Winnie the Pooh as a kid, and it's just a part of my childhood I don't think about a lot because it was like a very early childhood, you know. And I just have a lot of repressed memories from Winnie the Pooh, and I generally, when I just think about my childhood, Winnie the Pooh is not a thing that comes up, but when you're talking about Winnie the Pooh, I'm like, oh my god, I love that as a kid. So yeah, again, this was on Netflix, it was quite short, so I watched it, and god, I still loved it so much. I just had a big smile on my face throughout the entire movie. It's just so wholesome, and it made my heart explode, and it's And the next movie I watched was one I liked less, and that's The Hustle, which came out in 2019, and I gave 1.5 stars. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of this one. I watched this because, again, it was quite short. In August, I wasn't in the mood to watch movies, but I didn't want to sit around for like 2 hours to watch movies. I watch shorter movies because that's the person I am. The premise sounded very promising to me. Like, it sounded very interesting. Like, I was excited to watch this, and I hadn't really heard any reviews from it. The only thing I've seen about this movie is just like the trailer, and like I said, it sounded very promising. It seemed very promising, but I wasn't. It wasn't really funny, and it's a comedy movie. Like, I expect it to be funny. Also, I feel like the storyline and how they're presenting the main characters is trying to like push this like feminist idea forward, which I have no problems with, but just the way the story was constructed, it never felt right, because this whole movie is about pitting 2 women against each other, 2 powerful women just putting against each other and making them like, you know, a rivalry between the 2 main characters, and like that isn't the most feminist thing, you know. Like, one character immediately hates the other one for just being in the same field of like job, and it's just like, yeah, I know that's not really the feminism you're trying to push. And also just like the ending felt very weird, and I didn't like it, and low. Then we have Everyday, which came out in 2018, and I give 2 out of 5 stars to it. This is based on a book by David Levithan, which I read a couple of years ago. I don't remember when I watched it. And I have heard a review of this movie, one, and that person said they hated this movie and also loved the book. So I was a bit apprehensive going into it, but again, it was short. It was on Netflix. Was my mood in August, you know? So yeah, I watched it, and I didn't like this that much. I know that there is a sequel to Everyday, which is not really a sequel, but like a companion novel, which is just the same name as Everyday, but then the female perspective, and I feel like that's what this movie actually based itself on, which I haven't read that book, so I wouldn't know, but it has the title of the first book, so I wasn't assuming that. But we really follow like A's love interest mostly in this movie, so I'm assuming it actually based more on like the second book. Could be wrong, because like I said, I haven't read it, so I don't know. And yeah, I feel like that's where they did something wrong, because in every day the first thing you kind of know is A and what A is and what it does, and this movie takes a pretty long time to get to that, which is the point where the girl also starts learning about it, which I'm assuming if you had the second book you're not really bothered with, because you've already learned the whole explanation in the first book and it's not really confusion. But this is the first movie, you know, and it does the same thing, and it just I know what's going on because I read the book, but if you go into this movie you're just like, what? So if you don't know anything about this movie, A is kind of this being, person, thing, it's hard to describe, that wakes up in a different body every single day. And the book did a lot of good discussions around that, with gender, race, religion even, just like kind of everything. And this movie didn't at all. The only thing it really did was the girl asking, are you a boy or a girl, and A answering yes, which is, and maybe it's because I can't take it seriously now because it's become a meme, stuff like that, so I'm just kind of like, but it felt like it took away from a lot of the important topics that the book discussed. Most of the time when the book to movie adaptation, when they're missing out on stuff, it's because of time restraints, but honestly I think they could have done all those things in the same amount of time if they just laid their focus on something else a little bit. Those were already all the movies I watched in August. Like I said, there were only 4, so it wasn't much, but I still hope you enjoyed, and if you watch any of these movies, like, feel free to discuss them down in the comments below, as well as talk about some of the movies you watched in August, because I love to get some recommendations, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Good. Bye.